extra playoff level of intensity. They battled back a couple times. What did you think was the thing that finally kind of held them off in that fourth quarter when you guys were able to get the victory?
I thought our poise when we got down 4. I thought our poise when it was tied at 113. Our execution. I said to the guys in the timeout, we were getting great shots. Like our execution in that fourth quarter, I think Rui or Doe had a couple. We got great looks. We punished their overhelps, and they didn't go in. And they were tough to guard tonight. They outperformed some things that we're willing to live with. They were 20 for 38 on non-rim twos, which 38 non-rim twos. That's a pretty good sort of math equation to have. They made some tough shots. And then for us to just continue to trust what we were doing offensively, we had one bad possession in the fourth quarter outside of like a couple turnovers. Just like from an execution standpoint, we got exactly what we were trying to get.
In the walk-off, Austin said that he met with you and Luka and LeBron this morning, and just kind of how much he appreciates the players that they are, and then being included in that. What did you think of his play on both ends of the court tonight?
Yeah.
He kind of roped into that meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, first of all, in terms of his play, he got us off. He helped get us off to a great start. We challenged him a little bit on playing with a little more force and pace off the ball. And I thought that was great early, and we were able to generate some good stuff. And then we challenged all three of them when we get to their three-man actions to play with a little more force and a little more thrust and a little more creativity. We were able to get some great stuff in the fourth quarter off that and create the sort of advantages that we envision creating when we put those three guys together. And I told them this morning, it's hard to create advantages against switches. And generally they're going to have three defenders. They can all switch. But there was a defender that we felt like didn't necessarily want to switch, and when we put those three guys in action in that fourth quarter, it was awesome. And just in terms of Austin being included, of course he's been included. I mean, I think the biggest thing about our group is the response to the other night when we lose on a half-court buzzer beater. And I said before the game that we'll be ready to play, that our resolve, I'm not surprised at how hard we played and how well we played tonight. I made sure the group knew that I believed still, and that the coaching staff believed, and they were resolute in their belief in this team. All three of those guys, and then everybody else.
JJ, excuse me, there weren't a lot of stops necessarily over stretches, but it never really felt like you guys weren't in it defensively, if that makes sense. And especially in the fourth, I think there was a stretch where Dorian got a rebound over Edie, had a challenge on Jaren Jackson, Luka took the lane away from Desmond Bane. What did you think about kind of, you guys have been a team that's guarded despite results for a lot of the year, but that's kind of faded a little bit. What did you think about your team's intent defensively?
Yeah, I think process-wise, it was really good. Where we, I don't know what they ended up with, 22. I mean, where we struggled a little bit was in transition. 22 is not a crazy number, but I thought our half-court defense and our half-court defensive execution was really good. We gave up, I think, one back cut out of the corner out of their wheel concept. We gave up 1 3 to Ja Morant out of the wheel concept in the first half from the left corner in front of their bench. I'm not sure we gave up much else just in terms of letting the ball get middle. We did a good job of keeping the ball out of the middle, and then they made a few shots where we didn't allow to get middle, and they kind of were at that free throw line area and made some shots. I thought, Jackson Jr. hit some tough ones. In terms of our execution, you can execute a defensive game plan, and teams can still make shots. I liked what we did defensively with our half-court defense.
JJ, I know you just mentioned the fourth quarter execution, but offensively tonight, 50-40, 90 performance. The big three all go for 25 plus, 8 plus assists, several role players in double figures. Did it feel like this is maybe the closest you guys have been to your offensive ceiling as a group since these three have been playing together?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think there's always stuff you can improve on, and you don't want to say like, that's the best we can play offensively. We played as well as we played so far offensively, and a big part of that I thought was not just those three guys, but Doe, Rui, Gabe, their shot making, particularly at times when we played a 5-laser lineup, and just Doe missed a couple, told him to keep shooting, and he made a couple, and I thought that was great. Rui had the big one in the corner over there opposite their bench, and then Vando, because of their overhelps, like he was able to operate a little bit in that first half, which was great offensively. Like I think it was a good game for us, because we didn't just see one thing either. They played a small lineup with switching. They played Edie in a heavy drop. They did a bunch of difference. They played Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5. Like, they did a bunch of stuff.
Austin, JJ used the word devastation to describe the way that you lost the last game, but what did it take to bounce back like this against a team that was desperate to try and get a victory?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows what we have in the locker room, from coaches to players. We knew coming in tonight we were tied for the 4th spot, I believe, and Brian said it before the game. We're gonna play this as a must-win. They're a team that just fired their head coach, so we knew they was going to come out with a lot of energy, a lot of effort, to try to I don't want to say turn things around. They're tied for 4th in the West, which is crazy. So, it's a really good team that's had success in the past year. So it's a good win.
Going back to that first-round series a couple years ago, maybe when you really earned the trust of your teammates, and certainly LeBron James, it had already been there to an extent. But what is that kind of fast forward to today and all the trust that all of your teammates and coaches have for you to come through in moments like this in crunch time?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to me because, me, Brian, and Luka and JJ met this morning, and those are two. I mean, obviously Brian's someone that I grew up watching, and then when Luka came in the league, he was one of my favorite players to watch, and for them to trust me in big situations is it builds my confidence a lot. I probably know over 100 people in here tonight from Arkansas, so just to come out here and play free and have fun is a lot of fun for me.
All right, Arkansas, just a very short drive across the border. You mentioned that trust in the teammates. You had the counting stats, almost a 30-point triple-double, but Stu on the broadcast was talking about the fronting of Jaren Jackson, just kind of key plays like that, and just doing a little bit of everything to try and make sure the team gets a win.
Yeah, I mean, it's that time of the year where you gotta buckle up and do whatever you can do to help your team win, and that's what I try to do every single night. Some nights I probably lack a little bit of it, but I constantly try to remind myself and to go out there and play the game I love the right way.
All right, go say hi to the family. You mentioned you got a lot of people in the building. We'll let you go shake some hands, all right?
For sure. Good to see you.
Austin Reeves, his last 2 games, 30 against the Bulls, 31 on Saturday night. In the month of March, he's averaging just around 24 points per game.
Hạnh được đón chào các bạn đến với kênh YouTube của mình.